All right, it looks like we are live. Welcome back to 7th Street, guys. My name is Calvin. You guys should know Natalie by this point. We got Josh, Alex
Hey.
Onda. He is
New
a
friend.
filmmaking friend of ours. This is your first time.
This is
On
my
one of
first
these.
time.
We'll be gentle.
Very happy to be here.
So, we just went to go see the new Halloween movie. Obviously, it's opening night for it. Ooh, my battery is getting low, so we'll try to make this one quick. The battery is getting low. I hope it doesn't cut out. This is a good review. Or, well, we don't know if it's gonna be good, but it's the new movie.
It's a review.
What we were
We have thoughts.
right.
Thoughts.
So, we can probably skip our usual routine of going into the theater because nothing really eventful happened.
Nope.
We got some beers, got some Total Dom. Felt pretty good getting into it. We lost both of our live viewers. Hopefully they signed back in.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Maybe they know better.
any good trailers before we get into this? Anything?
Man.
Glass.
Pet
dude.
Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery and Glass looked
Yeah.
good. Josh is not as nuts on the
See, I'm
Unbreakable.
always. I really do like a lot of the M. Night Shyamalan, but this seems like just a total cash grab for all these movies that were just kind of like, oh, I don't know, and then they're like, it'd be dope if they had a universe. Like, I'd be more excited
think
to see
all of his-
The Village.
It is trying
sequel
to. It does
over
feel
this.
like a bit of a cash in
Oh,
on
total
the
cash grab.
the superhero genre.
Not even the superhero genre, it's just total cash grab on anyone who's ever seen any of those movies, and they had enough of those people that were
I wanna
down
see
to see
Patricia.
those movies.
Patricia.
I mean, I'm down. This is
From,
like, it's one of the few
Split.
movies I'm
Yeah.
down for a sequel to. So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I agree. A sequel to
Okay.
Unbreakable
I
is
don't know,
interesting.
man.
So we saw it Halloween.
the main event time.
And that was
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's really the only thing worth talking about. I don't even really think we need to get into the synopsis because the trailer I think does do a pretty good job of explaining what the movie
Setting
was.
up what
Yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
see. At the movie.
I
Bus crash.
the trailer telegraphed most of it and showed honestly some of the best scenes. Like a lot of the best scenes in the
Yeah.
movie I feel like I already saw, which is sort of that always seems to happen.
I mean, the closet scare, I think, would have been cool if I didn't know that going
Right,
in. That
right.
was really creative,
Yeah.
and I thought that was
Or-
really effective, but I knew how that was going to go because of the trailer. I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
oh.
And like the one take where he grabs the hammer and kills the lady to get the knife, which is a callback to the sequel, which is something that I'll kind of touch back on, like all the callbacks. But I think probably the best place to start is like kind of going around maybe since there's so many of us. What was something that go one at a time? Alex, what was something that you liked about this?
First
What did
off-
you like about this?
First off, Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah.
Yeah.
She did an
She's
excellent
good.
job. You could tell she was not playing around here. Like, she definitely took this seriously.
Mhm.
I was really invested in her story, actually. I was really interested in that whole plot line between, like, Jamie Lee Curtis and her daughter and how that affected her family. I actually wanted more of that, oddly enough. Like, even though that wasn't necessarily, like, a horror element, I was really fascinated by that. And I thought Jamie Lee Curtis did a really good job. Like, I was definitely, like, invested in her character and her performance the whole time.
I should probably keep my car on. So
There
the battery
were
doesn't die.
there were a few pretty suspenseful moments where I could definitely feel some solid tension. But then it kind of took a turn towards like an action sort of
Yeah.
vibe that I wasn't quite as down with. But I will say, in terms of positives, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Really, I thought the performances all around, I didn't
Yeah.
have really any issues. You could tell people wanted to be there. They cared about being there. I
Yeah.
felt like they at least like were trying something different here, and I gotta applaud that. That's one of the things I can applaud about like Rob Zombie's take on Halloween was like trying something different. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's its own thing. But what I do appreciate about this is they kind of had the balls to be like, all right, we're gonna try this, and I can
Yeah.
at least appreciate that. I don't agree with everything, and I'm sure we'll get into that later. But I
Yeah.
can at least appreciate that. Was it necessarily worth like ignoring all the sequels? for this. I don't know.
For sure.
Because there were callbacks to like Halloween too.
I will agree.
That-
Performances were good.
Awesome.
It's a Hollywood movie, so they got good
Yeah.
actors.
Oh yeah, I'm like.
So
yeah.
everybody was like honestly trying. I did feel like performances are pretty good.
Yeah, that was all great in my opinion. And there were, like I said, some genuinely like creative, tense moments.
Yeah.
That I actually like. There were moments where I legitimately was like, "Oh shit!" Like I don't know what's gonna happen next.
What about you,
So,
Josh?
it was good.
What was something that you liked?
Man, you don't fuck with my girl, Judy Greer. Every single move she's in, I fuck with. I love me some Judy Greer.
That's the mom?
Yep.
Yeah,
Everything
Judy
she
Greer.
does,
Where do I
she's
know
in
her
Archer.
from?
She's in everything. She's in Jurassic Park. She's literally the
else?
unspoken hero of movies that usually shit the bed.
Right.
And they're like, you know, this might be the movie that she's so dope in that she saves the entire movie.
Right.
And this whole time I was like, man, y'all fucked with my girl Judy. Total fucking wash. I love Judy Greer.
She had a
Yeah.
moment though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could put her reading the phone book and I'll be like, shout out my girl Judy.
Right.
Every single time, but man, I wish I'd.
Just good. Just positives. Anything else?
I don't have anything positive besides I
No.
love Judy Greer. I love Judy Greer.
I really liked the ending and all of that, the way it came together at the end, for sure. There's definitely points in the beginning where I was like, okay, like typical kind of, you know, remake. I mean, I know it's been done a bunch, but
Right.
it was very like, some scenes it was like definitely cheesy, but at the end it was very suspenseful. Like I was on the edge of my seat and I was like, couldn't take my eyes off of it, and I liked it.
Yeah. Things that you know what I actually kind of dug. I did dig certain parts of the ending. The concept that I liked, that I wish maybe would have been more of the movie, or they just would have went a different way with it, because they had an interesting concept in the 3 generations of Strode women having to fight against Michael. That was
seriously.
kind of cool. That was
The
like,
concept was cool.
yeah, that
Execution
It was
just
there.
I feel like
Baloney.
somebody came up with that concept, and
Danny
someone was like,
McBride. My boy
well,
Danny McBride.
he
who I
wrote
love to
the
death.
script. I wonder if it was him who I wonder
At the end
when
of the day,
that
it's not going to be him though.
right. I wonder when the decision, because it feels like an early on decision to be like, oh, this idea of like 3 generations of Strode women fighting against Michael to like redeem grandmother.
I feel like that was a
was
Blumhouse
interesting.
decision, but then all along the way, it just.
See, I don't know. I mean, that, you know, John Carpenter was pretty. I would be interested to know where that came, or if that just came within the script process, because the scripting process, because it
I
wasn't
think so.
it wasn't a big part, and it should have been a bigger focus. I thought
Yeah.
I feel
that
like
was
the
interesting.
youngest-
I think it definitely bought into
Yeah.
the times right now,
Yeah.
especially with the
that's gonna
when she's
yeah.
seeing the guy or what.
That's my
like
my
her
big-
boyfriend that, you know,
I
won't
didn't
get
even
into
read it that
spoilers
far,
there,
man.
but
I feel like that wasn't. If they were gonna do that more, like her
Right.
character was totally overshadowed until the end. It was like, oh yeah, the youngest one's still here. She's here to fuck shit up. Blah 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 blah.
Well, I'm glad they didn't really do that. And
That's what I
it
felt
was,
like it was.
no, I felt like that was the thing that I liked, was that it was the 3 generations of Strode women teaming up, and they each kind of had their own moment, right, with
Yeah.
him, and that it felt very like like Dragon Ball Z, right? It was like, we're gonna get everyone is gonna be like, you know,
Yeah.
the whole generation of you know, the
I feel
Kakarot
like
family,
there
you
still
know.
wasn't enough. What's the word I'm thinking?
Well, yeah, we're not in the complaints yet. We're not in the
No,
complaints.
not even
Let me-
complaints.
let me-
I'm saying that out of if that was the major accomplishment that they're going for,
right.
they're close. They're
Yeah,
close.
yeah, that
The
was
idea
interesting.
Was there. The idea was
I
there.
will say, because it's tough. It's always tough after you first see a movie to really like seconds after seeing it, have a definitive opinion on it. What I will say is I do think it was, because when I think of like especially series of movies, I always think in terms of like Godzilla films, right? There's the old ones, the Showa films, the Heisei series, and then the Millennium series, and Halloween kind of goes that way too, right? The first two are Showa, then you have the ones in the 80s, which is Return, Revenge, and Curse, which are kind of the Heisei, and then you have Halloween H2O and Resurrection
yeah,
that are
a little weird.
I think that this one,
Rotting.
yeah, this one is better than Resurrection, I would say,
Oh, yeah.
and probably as good as H2O.
But that's comparing like apples to like $40 million oranges.
Right, but that's
with Blumhouse.
but that's what you're doing with this with a series though. You have to compare them to the other ones, and it's like maybe as good as the fifth one. That's like my least favorite in the in the 80s, like the Heisei series. So I will say that like it's not the worst that I've
I'm not saying
seen
it's the worst.
off the bat. No, it's not the worst of the series. Just off, like, just getting out of the theater. It's nowhere near even, like, towards the mediocrity, I would think, of this series, just in my immediate opinion.
I don't hold it to the series candle, because we all are very aware of
And it's ignoring the series.
the garbage
So-
fires that could exist
Right,
in this
right.
universe.
It could
Like,
have
we're
been
aware of the garbage
Resurrection
fires
again,
that
yeah.
could happen.
And mind you,
It's
like,
like,
yeah.
Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, not
Right.
Jason Goes to
For
Hell,
being
but I mean,
rated
it was
R
okay.
though, I thought it held back on a lot of.
It was super
Oh.
tame.
Yeah.
It really did.
It
That's
was
a Blumhouse
super
shit. Blumhouse
tame.
is like, I guess we'll make this R. Where's the boobies?
Well, there
Well,
there
not even
there
that,
was
it's like-
nudity,
I
but
know,
there was no
but
gore.
There was like at least two
The
scenes
kills
in my
were
mind where I was like,
tame.
okay,
Yeah.
that was like pretty.
And
you
maybe
know,
it's because, like, I mean, the last
substantial.
iteration of Halloween we had was Rob Zombie, who was full fucking, like...
It
And
was a
that's true.
grindhouse. It
That's
was a
true.
grindhouse.
When
Yeah,
it's a
with the violence.
grindhouse murders,
yeah.
and you're like,
Right.
oh my god.
This one is
It's
very.
like, I've never known the most violent bathroom doors can just help end lives. That was just totally implicit. Like, oh man, if you're against a door, this Michael will not deal with your shit. He's gonna break your whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was really sleek. That's another thing. That's actually another positive I will say about this. I thought it looked great
Oh,
Yeah.
it looked
Yeah, oh,
because
fantastic.
it had enough money to look
But it wasn't.
fantastic.
Nothing was like
There were.
creeping in the background. There wasn't nothing atmospheric about it. But it looked
See,
good.
I disagree. I think my favorite like stylistic
Yeah.
shots from the movie were him walking around on Halloween night when
Yeah.
the kids were running around, and like
Yeah.
the blues and the greens. It looked cool.
Nothing you didn't see in the trailer though. So I was
Right,
aware
right.
of
They
it.
they showed
So
all that in the
was
trailer.
poor execution
looked-
on sending it out. Like
it
that.
No,
looked
I thought it was good
good.
that you didn't see all of that.
I-
But you
it
saw
looked
all of it in
good.
the trailer though.
Yeah, you didn't see all the stuff of him walking around
No,
on
yeah.
Halloween
but you
night.
knew what it's gonna look like
Right.
with that angle, like the way they
Yeah.
depicted the Halloween night. You're like, this is the exact
but they
thing
still
we're getting.
right, but they still that was still well done. I still liked that. I thought that it
Yeah.
looked good. There were like little moments that I thought were like really well done. I actually liked the bathroom kill scene. Actually, that was
I did too.
probably
Yeah, that
my
was
And
actually
there
really
were-
tense.
That's the thing is, for me, it's not like the entire film was good, and I don't want to shit on it. But there was
Yeah.
there was
There's
parts, there were
enough to shit on.
highlights that were good enough to be like, go see it. But man, did
Yeah.
it disappoint me.
So-
full.
Yeah,
like,
and
I
especially
feel like-
oh
because
man.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you were to just, if you didn't see it in theaters and you were just to put it on at home, I mean, you would probably watch it, but I feel like at some point, if I were to just put it on, I probably would have turned it off at some point
tune
from the
out.
beginning because it's
Yeah.
just like, okay. But I'm glad that we saw it in theaters because the ending, I thought, definitely made it.
Right.
See, that was the
I-
opposite.
Which-
of like
yeah.
when the part where I had to pee, when there was like 20 minutes left, I was like, man, nothing important happened after this.
Can
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all you,
So-
Alex. You're a new buddy.
Hold on,
Say
by the
something.
way,
Yeah,
and I don't
jump
know if
in,
we're
jump
getting into
in.
this yet. They do a reveal towards the beginning of the third act that was ballsy and interesting, but they resolve it in like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even a reveal.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
So I was like, whoa, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And they resolve
So-
it in like 2 seconds. Like, oh,
okay, yeah,
that's
let's
it. I was
get into
like,
some
oh.
of that then. Let's get
Yeah.
into some of that.
So
then.
that was one thing that I was like, that's so
I think
fascinating I'm really curious how this
And
is
then it
going
went
to go.
nowhere.
And they had such a tense setup too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did nothing with
I
it.
thought-
was like,
Yeah.
that could have been a super tense third act.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
did not.
I thought that it was going Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Paul
the
Rudd one, yeah.
yeah, the Paul Rudd one. I
Yeah.
thought that it was going in this, like, oh, he's Michael's keeper. All this, I was like, is this gonna go into the Thorn tattoo shit? I really, like, I was thinking that was gonna happen, but here's the thing. Here's what that was doing and what the whole movie was doing, and I kind of like, I don't think that this movie is gonna age well. Just like Halloween H2O
Oh
didn't
man,
age
no,
well.
age like yogurt.
Yeah,
Fuck
it,
that.
like within 5 years, this is going to be like, oh, remember when every fucking Blumhouse movie looked like this,
Dude.
and had stuff like this. It was like they took a little bit. I almost feel like people saw how they brought back the Star Wars series and just called back and member buried everything, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that
And-
sounds-
and
I
that-
don't want to go see
Memories.
another Blumhouse movie after this unless they can prove to me they're not going to do the same bullshit they always do
And
now.
so what gets me to is so like they have the balls to come out and be like, we're ignoring literally every Halloween movie after the first
Right.
one.
And then why
We're
was this...
retconning
I don't
it.
think
Yeah,
that's
we're gonna
an-
reference and we're gonna kind of low key pull the same shit that a lot
Yeah.
of the
I don't think
sequels
that's necessarily a bad thing that they're.
Yeah.
I like that they went
I don't
just
think
the
it
first
was
one.
either. What I don't like, and remember when we watched the new Amityville movie, Amityville Reckoning or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that was, and then it was like they referenced the Amityville horror movie and its sequel and its remake in that movie, and I remember going, wow, that's really weird that they're doing that. Like, why call back a movie in the universe? And from the beginning, I was like, there was one moment where I went, oh, they're going the Disney Star Wars
yeah.
route.
Yeah.
When they go, wait a second, wasn't Michael your grandmother's brother? No, some people think that, but it's like, oh, don't reference the other movies and the plot points in the other movie. If you're gonna ignore them, ignore them.
Yeah, but they had
Don't-
to reference like Rob Zombie's movies. Like, no, that
Yeah.
wasn't my sister. That
And
wasn't
then
his sister.
Why?
and the one that
Why?
really, about halfway through the movie, I really went, oh fuck, was, you know, we actually just watched, we like did a refresh for Natalie and for Josh. We watched the original one earlier today,
Yeah, I
just
watched
as
it
like
the other night, yeah.
yeah, and
It's like lingering.
one of the
There's,
same
like-
things that one of the things that I said before we left, or when we were watching, I said, Dr. Loomis, it's sad that Donald Pleasance isn't going to be around in this. And then they bring a character into it who, Laurie Strode, actually, one of her actual lines of dialogue in the movie is, you're the new Loomis. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Why?
I don't want a new Dr. Loomis. Like
No.
Donald Pleasance is dead. That character is gone. Why are they doing that? I don't understand. It was
Yeah,
such
it
a
was fucking-
member berries Halloween. That is my biggest grievance with it. It was like they took shots from the original. They called back to every single one of the sequels at some point, including
Everything minus
including
that
that
motherfucker.
twist in the third
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then it went nowhere. It's like, why reference Curse of Michael Myers if you're ignoring all of them? It was just like, it was
I
weird.
mean, that was obviously just for the audience.
It was for that
Right.
totally. It's just member
It's-
berries stuff, and it won't hold up
It
well.
didn't,
But
They
then
thought
they-
that
it
that
didn't
would-
then, and like sitting
Yeah.
through it, and I was just
Yeah.
like, this is
I'm
painful.
surprised that Paul Rudd didn't turn up in this movie, just because they were kind of doing these weird fan service
know.
things.
Yeah, and like it's just weird that like the whole point was to ignore the sequels, and yet they were like, let's call back to them.
Right? Let's like
Yeah.
reference them
And let's like pull some of the same shit.
Why don't we reference this film?
right. Yeah.
Why don't we
Right.
reference this film?
There you go.
And it's like, if they wanted to do that, I don't know why they didn't just like make a sequel to Resurrection or make a sequel to H2O.
At the end of the day,
or-
Rob Zombie's Halloween, way above. I'm gonna say it right now.
I agree.
it was better than this one. Yeah. I think it's funny.
my boy.
I think it's funny
Yeah.
that right, they're like, they ignore. I thought it was a mistake from the time that I heard that they were ignoring Halloween 2, because I
Yeah.
really like Halloween 2, And it was a total mistake because this is supposed to be taking the place of Halloween 2, and it doesn't even come close.
No.
And they reference it, so they reference the second one a lot. Like with him killing the woman to get the knife and the shot of the ham, and it's like, oh, why are you doing it? And even like burning him alive at the end is like, oh.
And that's why like this
why are
movie
you
is such a
doing
mixed
that?
bag, because it like tries to be its own thing, but then it still keeps holding on
Yeah.
to the past so much and tries to also reference everything. I'm like, what do you want to be? Like, what are you
Right.
trying to do? And that's
Just
how like
fucking
there's
member berries.
It was
Yeah.
it was total. It totally took the Disney's Star Wars route, which I don't think it should have done at all, because there were positives to the film.
I don't know.
It's
I thought
it's not
weird
the
to me that
worst.
it's-
some of it, like when the humor of the babysitter and her boyfriend.
I thought that was good too.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
liked
the
some
original.
of the humor.
That's
yeah.
the one
You
scene.
can't really like
That's just
you
one
know it's
little
coming
scene.
when they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
calling
It-
each other.
Yeah,
and
I will say,
it
like,
had
they-
scenes. It did have scenes that were good.
it was what I expected.
right. I will say I think the
Yeah.
dynamic, and as good as the performances were, the dynamic between the like new friend group in this movie was not as strong as the original. Like the original one, you kind of felt that connection. This I
Yeah.
felt kind of disconnected. That whole dance felt
The
irrelevant.
whole I was gonna
I
say
did
the
not
same
give a
thing.
that-
shit. I
that
did not
was-
give a shit about high schoolers like
that
trying
was-
to go dance and have
yeah.
They
sex
did it
and
for like
smoke
a
weed.
minute,
I
and then
was
it's like, okay,
whatever.
all of a sudden she's at the Graham, and
They
I
didn't
was
even
like,
kill
okay.
her jerk boyfriend.
I know that was
They didn't even kill
that
her
was
jerk
literally the
boyfriend.
guy
Yeah.
at Blumhouse. So it's like, you know what people love? Fucking raves. Let's do
Rave
that shit at a
scenes,
movie
yep.
dance,
And
and we're
yeah.
gonna do some crazy visuals.
They killed the
bada
creepy,
bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
And he
friend,
wasn't.
though.
He wasn't even
Garbage.
creepy. He didn't even like
Garbage.
deserve to die.
Nope.
The guy who like that actor who like looks like Rocky Dennis from Mask.
Yeah.
No, didn't deserve to die. Literally, I
Okay.
know
He
worse
just
for
misread the
him.
signals, and the douchebag boyfriend who
Lived.
It lives. He like
Lived.
cheats
So-
on her, throws her phone
yeah.
in a thing of pudding.
Ducky
and
gets
fucking runs
murdered.
away.
Yeah.
Ducky gets murdered, and then the guy that's
And
just
Andrew
like,
McCarthy
"Oh,
walks
yeah,
away.
who doesn't want 68 candles? Let's just fucking murder the guy who's
No,
like
whatever.
questionable."
That guy was all creepy.
Oh,
They
no,
did that for
they made him
a
out to-
reason because of nowadays. You know,
well-
it's like
Right,
don't
for
fuck
sure.
with me.
Yeah.
For
like,
sure, for sure.
Oh,
For sure.
consent. He couldn't
I
kiss a
bet
girl
you
on the
that they
lips, and now he's
I bet that they
murdered.
redid that whole.
He wasn't Harvey Weinstein though. I mean,
They-
he wasn't like
Yeah.
a bad human being. He was
Well,
a little
no,
fucking.
I'm not saying
No,
that.
no,
but
no, no, no. But the other boyfriend deserved to die. He was actually an asshole.
Man, everyone deserved to die in this shit.
I think that
fucking-
they went more with that, but then they cut something out because it didn't really. make
Yeah,
sense.
I
it's-
feel like there might
it-
be like some director's cut. Or
Yeah,
deleted
there
scenes
could be
that we
some
won't
director's
see.
cut out there that we're
I don't want to see
missing.
that shit.
I feel like
though.
they're gonna get because I'm gonna want to see it. They're gonna get me with that shit on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Please don't give in.
For
Just
sure.
fucking
They're gonna get me with that
don't
shit.
buy the Blu-ray. It was like everything
I-
they wanted to put in here is just fucking.
What